Hi and welcome. This is Shaman Marcus and I am here from Healing with Marcus, and we are doing a video today on the war on our consciousness. It is an interesting observation of what's happening in our society. If you look around and you watch the games that are being played on an international level or on the national level or on the micro level around us in our own lives, we can see that the pressure that's trying to basically keep us down, keep us in a state of unconsciousness, which means unawareness. That these forces are working really hard, and they're actually very effective at the moment to keep us in suffering, to keep our sense of awareness at a very low state. Towards the end of last summer, the summer of 2023, there was a big movement where many people were going into a state of higher awareness. And people were questioning. There was going to be a new wave of vaccinations coming out. There was going to be a new wave of illness coming out. And so many people were questioning the narrative that the powers to be realized that they couldn't do it. So it just kind of dissipated. But instead, we had the October 7th events that happened in Israel, Gaza. And since then, the war in our consciousness has gotten much, much more intense. We look around and we see how the media, the news media, is full of different forms of propaganda. We look around and we see that if you listen and look at the news and you take that energy in, it will feel like we are in complete disarray. And it will feel like we are not able to bring peace into the world at all. That when we come from that state, that it's a very bleak universe and world we live in. But if you're able to dissociate or disconnect from the news media and even from social media, you'll be able to find that your heart is still alive, that your heart is still speaking to you. Your sense of awareness is still there. We just have to learn how to disconnect. We have to shield ourselves a bit from what's going on out there in order to find our inner peace and strength. The war in our consciousness is happening on every level. It's happening in the school system, where people are taught to be very confused, where our power is constantly being stripped away from us, whether it be that we have to perform in order to feel accepted. And to a certain degree, of course, nothing in itself is wrong with it. But what happens is we learn that we're not good enough in ourselves. That's in school, right? We're also told in school that we don't have to be who we are. We don't have to accept who we are. We don't have to feel that we are in a certain gender or that we are in a certain body, that we have the power to change anything. And unfortunately, that teaches most of us that if I'm not happy inside, maybe it's because I'm in the wrong system, that I'm in the wrong body, that I'm in the wrong something. So instead of learning to heal what's in there, instead of learning to feel my feelings and accept them and grow, let them move through our system, we are listening to the confusion, and we think that if we change something, we'll feel better. Whether it be a gender change, or it be getting a nicer car, or a bigger house, or a greener lawn, no matter what it might be, we think we can feel better by changing our external circumstances. While coming back home, so the antidote to the war on our level of consciousness, the antidote is, of course, to find your way back home into yourself, into your higher state of consciousness. So you bring awareness both into yourself and into the world around us. And it often happens by itself. It doesn't have to be because we go around preaching to the whole world. It can happen by you raising your sense of awareness. And as you move through the world without the same fear that so many of us, so many people carry, they feel something. They feel some kind of shift. They feel that something is different. And it allows them to feel their feelings and maybe release some of the fear. Because so many of us we're all caught up, right? In political games, right? We're caught up in following which president's going to win, which president's better than this president. Oh my God, I hate the other guy, I hate the other guy. Both sides are saying this. And when you look at yourself, when you look into your heart, if we can shed the sense of negativity, if we can get past that anger and just come into our hearts, we're able to awaken on the inside. But it requires that we recognize that, there is a war on our consciousness. There is a war on our level of awareness. That the powers to be, no matter how far up the chain we look, they like when we are in a sense of despair or a negativity, right? Because when you feel afraid, and they were, of course, in a sense, brilliant by bringing out the virus a few years back, right? The virus that was a threat to each one of us individually, that made everybody feel like, oh my God, we have to do this, we have to do this. No, we have to act like one, because now it's threatening me. And as we started seeing that, when you can see through the manipulation and the propaganda, because anytime you're not allowed to question the facts, anytime you're not allowed to publicly ask questions around something, there is an agenda in place, right? There is somebody who wants to create an effect. So if you're not allowed to question the validity of the jab, or you're allowed to question the validity of the numbers themselves, if you're not allowed to question that, and you're being shut down on a major level, we have propaganda. This is an active war on your level of safety and security. This is an active war on manipulating how you feel as an individual, how safe you feel, how strong you feel. And as we then learn to disconnect from the outside world, if we learn to walk into nature, if you learn to spend some time, preferably in the backcountry without Wi-Fi, without any Wi-Fi connection, but even if you can just start taking walks in the park, that's a good start. Or stay on the beach longer, or get into the real wilderness. Your whole sense of reality shifts. And this deeper sense of reality will also activate things in your DNA that is dormant when we're living in cities, when we are being bombarded with outside information, when we are sitting in our state of negativity. The dormant activities, energies, DNA in your system, your abilities can awaken by spending more time in nature. Your eyesight will shift, your hearing will shift, your attention will shift. And this is not positive, good information for regular media to have out there, right? Because they're doing everything they can to suck our attention to whatever they want us to. And usually it results in a pretty negative state of mind. This is exactly what the powers to be want, right? They want us to feel like we are under attack all the time. So of course, the world is moving towards what we would call World War III. Some people say it's already started. But of course, we're moving in that direction because that's the push. That's how the big weapon war machinery is going to keep making more money. So all that's going on right now is an effort to provoke the outside world, to provoke people. This, of course, is another war on our consciousness. moving into heart space, considering how would our world look if it was guided from the heart instead of fear-based, egotistical parasites in our mind. Yeah? That false sense of reality that our society is promoting so strongly, where if you drive the nicer car, if you have the longer, more beautiful nails, if you, whatever it may be, you look better, then you are stronger and then you're successful in our society. That will make you happy, that'll make you feel strong. Somebody else will look up to you, the world will look up to you. But in reality, you come back home, you look into your heart, you look into yourself and you ask yourself, am I happy with myself right now? Am I happy with what's going on in my life? How can I move through the world in a way where I can be in integrity with my higher self? How can I listen to what my higher self is trying to tell me? How can I live in accordance to the law? We could call it the law of nature or the law of the higher self. How can I live in accordance to that? How can I let my tongue not speak negativity wherever I go? How can I let myself not say negative things about other people or other instances? How can I sit in my inner peace and help to share that light with the world? And this is exactly where that war on consciousness, on our level of consciousness, is really intensifying. So as that intensifies, it's very imperative for people like you and me who are seeking a higher level of understanding, people like you and me who are seeking to live in peace and to promote that peace, to know, we know in our hearts that war is not a solution. Then we start to see through the propaganda of society. We start to see through the dishonesty. And we can start to live our lives from a level of love. And we move through the world differently. This, of course, also means that we move from what they call service to self into service to others, or service of others. Service of others doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have a right to exist, right? Because if we have to put the oxygen mask on ourselves first. We have to find our inner peace, our inner love, our inner heart first, in order to share that with other people. It's very hard to share if you don't have, yes? But service to self is what has lured our humanity away from us. It has lured us away from our higher self. Service to self has become, I gotta have more money than others. I gotta have more cars than others. I gotta have more attention than others. This is all based in service to self. While if we come from that space of, but I just want to see if I can help the world. I just want to see if I can be of service here. And how can I do that the best? Well, I do have to put the oxygen on myself first so I can breathe, so my heart is in a good space, so I feel clean inside, so I can live with integrity and honesty and authenticity. And from there, we move through the world, and over time, there will be more and more of us waking up to this inner state. And as we do, we learn to see that, hang on, you're not honest right now. Whether it be a corporation, a government, an official of any kind, or your neighbor. If we are speaking to each other, it's not that we have to call everybody out, but you do, if you want to feel authentic inside, you want to stand in your truth. And this is the way we can, this is the antidote to the war on our level of consciousness. It's that video about harmonic forces that came out last week. It talks about the dark force that's spreading across our globe. And that is, of course, also connected to service of self versus service of others. So, beloved, come into your heart. Watch the video about your umbilical cord to the universe, the higher self. Your connection to your higher self. Yes. All right, everybody. Have a lovely, lovely, amazing day. Please click like and subscribe if this spoke to you. And share. It's a good need for many of us to wake up to this. There's a good need. Okay, beloved. Much love. Namaste. And aho.